Good morning, traders. I'm Emily Vani, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Thursday, January 2nd. We await the opening bell to ring us into trading for 2025 today after 2024 ended with a down day on Wall Street. Ahead of yesterday's holiday, all three major indices closed in the red. The Dow shed 29 points or 0.07%. The S&P 500 gave up 25 points or 0.43%. The NASDAQ lost 175 points or 0.9%. That didn't stop the averages from notching big gains for 2024. The S&P 500 clocked a 23% gain for the year, while the NASDAQ jumped 28.64% in 2024, and the Dow advanced 12.88%. Bill, let's get into a new year with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Hi, yes. Good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps. We're up 0.8%, 0.80. That's really positive. We were up over a full percentage point. So, we pulled back a little bit, but that's just a little cautionary. But it looks like we're going to start today off good. Tech shares are moving higher. That's nice to see. The key economic report today really is going to be the jobless claims. Remember, today's Tuesday. Today's Thursday. So the jobless claims, the weekly jobless claims are due out. That's going to be the key one before the opening bell. What else we got going on? Tesla, they're expected to release their sales data today. We'll see how that comes out on Friday. Tomorrow, Congress is going to vote on whether or not Mike Johnson is going to be remaining Speaker of the House. That could have some implications. I think he's going to stick. I don't think there's anybody else they can put in there to take that role. Might take a couple rounds of voting, but I still think it sticks. Next week, we got that CES trade show in Las Vegas, that big tech show going on in Las Vegas. That's, a lot of companies are going to be presenting there. So that you got to keep an eye on the times of those presentations, because that's all going to be, puff pieces when their CEOs start to talk. But we're taking a look at the global markets, and we're looking over in Europe, and Europe is, rather positive. I mean, the DAX has been moving between up and down. I mean, it was lower, then it moved higher, then it went lower, and now it's higher, and not by a little bit. I mean, it was down, I'd say 0.2%. Now it's trading higher by 0.05%. Or 9.5 points. So that the DAX moving higher. It's good to see. The FTSE, that's really showing a gain. That's up 0.57% or 46 points. The housing data in London, they saw a 4.7% increase year over year in December 2024, making it a big acceleration from 3.7%. So we're positive on the housing situation in the UK. The CAC, on the other hand, listen, they had their PMI data, came in weak, 41.9 for December versus November's reading of 43.1. Germany's was lower as well, but the Eurozone as a whole wasn't too bad, but France was particularly bad. And then they got, political instability going on there in France. So, you look at that market down 43 points or 0.59%. Then we're taking a look at Asia last night. The Nikkei remains closed. It didn't open up this morning. It's going to remain closed. It's closed until Monday morning. Then we took a look at the Hang Seng. The Hang Seng dropped 2.18% or 436 points. The Shanghai in China dropped 89 points. That's 2.66%. Financials were really taking a hit. Widespread losses we're seeing in almost every sector. I mean, remember, Shanghai was down 1.5%. On Tuesday, it's down 2.6% today. Their manufacturing, that Caxton manufacturing data came in at 50.5 versus last month's reading of 51.5. That's not good. That just shows that they're not on track yet. But China's president did come out and he gave a nice speech, about the economic situation for as they walk into the new year. But it's not enough to really push the index higher. So. Then we're taking a look at oil. Oil is gaining. Oil is trading higher. Oh, it's up over 1%. You got WTI at $72.66 a barrel. You got Brent at $75.59 a barrel. I mean, you do have the EIA stockpiles reports coming out today. The API data did come in positive on Tuesday after the bell. What did they come in at? The API released its stuff on Tuesday, and they said that oil inventories decreased by 1.4 million barrels for the week ending December 27th. Yeah, when you have a decrease in oil inventories, that's positive for oil, and the EIA data should come in, with a draw as well. So we could see oil moving higher. And then that's really what I'm having. That's really all I'm seeing in terms of this morning's action, Emily.
Bill, as we can hear there from your opening, we're sort of back in full swing as 2025 trading kicks off, news starting to pick up, and these other points of data and information as we start the new year. You're really looking at, broad range of information as we can hear there in the opening, and we're going to dive into some details throughout the show. Before we get to some economic events and other market moving headlines, we will turn to earnings action. As we pointed out, a little slow really until next week, but we'll pick up a little bit by the end of this week. Bill, what is going on in terms of earnings action?
Yeah, I thought I had something for tomorrow. GBX Greenbrier companies. I saw one report that they're coming out tomorrow morning, but then when I looked closer, the press release says they're not going to release till January 8th, which is Wednesday. So there's just nothing on the calendar for today or tomorrow in terms of earnings, Emily.
And Bill, we will follow that as it picks up here. It is already Thursday. So, those reports, as you mentioned, really start next week. But there are a number of economic reports to be keeping track of today. We're getting back into that after the holiday. So, Bill, what is going on in terms of the day's economic events?
Yeah, we got a number. Let's start off at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, 1 hour before the opening bell. We get jobless claims. Now, the weekly jobless claims are expected to come in at approximately 225K. Which is a tick higher than last week's number of 219K. So, that'll show some continued weakness in the jobs market. Then at 9:45 p.m., we get the December PMI manufacturing data coming out. Estimates are expecting the number to come in at 48.0, slightly lower than November's 48.4 number. 11 a.m., we get the oil stockpiles report. That's going to be a key one. But that's all I'm seeing in terms of economic reports for today, Emily.
And along with those economic reports, you're also sifting through other market moving data and information. As you do every morning, you're taking your newsware, breaking it down into alerts and looking at different types different types of news, things like merger news. You're also grouping your stocks together, like your FANG stocks and your Dow 30 stocks. And though, Bill, we're back at our desk today, many people are probably still taking a few days off. So the news cycle may be a little bit slow, but still a few things to note. So, Bill, what else do you see as possibly moving the markets today?
I'm just doing a quick data check here. I'm looking at my Dow stocks. Honestly, I'm seeing 29 higher and one unchanged. That's what I see this morning. FANG stocks are all higher. Apple, which was lower this morning, has now turned. It's shown a slight gain. So that's actually up. So we're seeing all gains in all the FANG stocks, which is positive for the S&Ps. You're looking at some of the news behind the tape, like Apple, they're going to be offering iPhone discounts in China. It shows that the iPhone sales are a little weak, but they're trying to, counter that with discounts. It's enough to turn the stock from, moving lower to moving higher today. Tesla, hey, they're going to be releasing their fourth quarter sales figures today. Expectations are, are for 505,000 vehicles. It's got to reach 515 for it to show positive activity in the year. So I'm thinking anywhere, I'm thinking it'll come in a little higher than the 505 figure, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, there was that Cybertruck that blew up in front of the Trump Hotel in Vegas the other day. It looks like an act of terrorism. The guy had gasoline cans in the vehicle, so I don't really think that's going to affect the stock price too much today. I don't think it was anything to do with the manufacturing of the vehicles. Then we're looking at Dow Jones 30 stocks. McDonald's got added to the Wells Fargo Q1 tactical ideas list. That's positive, but I'm worried about their earnings because that E. coli outbreak, I think that's going to hurt earnings more than we realize. But the stock is trading a little higher this morning. but still under that key 292 level. So, it could move a little higher this morning. NVIDIA just pointed out that their CEO is scheduled to speak on January 6th at the CES event at 6:30 p.m. IBM, Global Foundries and IBM announced a settlement and resolution of all litigation matters. That's positive for IBM, which shares are up about 1% this morning. In terms of merger deals, Alibaba, ticker BABA, they're going to be selling their stake in Sun Art Retail to a private equity firm for $1.6 billion. Problem here is they paid $3.6 billion for it a few years back. And that's all I'm seeing about news hitting the tape this morning.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. It is now that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. We're kicking off 2025 here, Bill. What is your pick of the day today?
I'm going to go with NVIDIA, ticker NVDA. I mean, tech is positive, and NVIDIA has room to move higher. And they got that upcoming trade show where the CEO is speaking, and that's a positive for the stock. You look at yesterday on Tuesday's call volume, 1,755 calls traded versus 774, 536 puts. That's positive. I mean, the open interest is essentially flat. 12 million two on the call side, 12 million two on the put side. So I mean, yeah, I'm not worried about that. But major brokers remain positive. They're continuing to pepper the stock with the positive rating calls. I want to get in 335 and a half to 336. I think that's a valid range. If I do that, I should easily make my 1% today. So that's my pick of the day. NVIDIA, ticker NVDA, Nancy Victor, David Apple, Emily.
Bill, starting out 2025 with sort of a best of breed pick. Again, looking for momentum in this stock and looking for that specific entry price. It was a strategy that you used to close out 2024, and we will see how that pick went when we do a recap on that in just a moment. But before we get there, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, take it away.
Looks like the Commerce Department is considering new rules that would impose a restriction on Chinese drones that would restrict or bar them in the United States. They're citing national security concerns. U.S. dock workers, they're set to resume contract talks on January 7th. It's positive. Bank of America and Citigroup, they're going to be exiting the Net Zero Banking Alliance, joining Goldman and Wells Fargo, which walked away last year. Gannett and Reuters leach a bundling content offering. Gambling.com, that's GAMB, Grace Apple, Michael Boyd, they completed the acquisition of Odds Holdings. Li Auto, ticker LI, they reported December deliveries, 58.5K. That's up 6.6. That's up 16.2% year over year. ANIP, Apple, Nancy, India, Paul, ANI Pharmaceuticals launches these new tablets after FDA approval. Lilly, getting some positive mention about their weight loss drug. Looks for another, good year in 2025. Novo Nordisk, I mean, they got a trial of their weight loss drug, and they're going to be increasing the dosage. So when that phase 3 trial hits, it's probably going to be good. So, Novo Nordisk could recover. NVO. GDYB, Grace David, Yellow Boy, they're going to be added to the S&P 600 effective this morning. And that's all I see for in terms of news hitting the tape this morning.
Okay, Bill, before we dive into trading today, let's do a quick check-in on Tuesday's pick of the day, which was Salesforce. Now, as I mentioned, it was sort of the best of breed strategy there to end out 2024. I did catch an article that came across the tape yesterday that Wedbush expects tech stocks to be up 25% in 2025. You just mentioned, tech is looking positive today. The firm's top 10 tech winners for the AI revolution did name Salesforce as one of them, amongst others. We're looking at NVIDIA, your pick of the day today, Palantir, Tesla, Google, Microsoft, sort of all the big players there. You were looking for a specific entry point to get your win. Bill, how did your call work out?
It worked out it worked out. I mean, look at the facts. The stock opened up at 336.27, fell to 332.41, closed at 334.33. I was looking for an entry price around 335, and guess what? This morning the stock already hit a high of 339.69. So yeah, it beat the 1%. So even from the opening price on Tuesday. So Salesforce.com, ticker CRM, was a winner.
Beat the 1%, and even on a red day. And with that, for December, that was 21 picks, 17 wins, only 2 flats and 2 losses. Even with the flat trades, you're looking at more than an 80% win rate. And without those flat trades, you are looking at 89% win rate. But even better news here, Bill, on 2024 overall, I calculated the numbers, all of those picks throughout the year, 95% win rate for the year. That is not bad. I will take that any day. And we will check in with you tomorrow about today's NVIDIA pick of the day to see how 2025 starts off. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow at NewsWare's Trade Talk, where we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Advani, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.